Hello everyone. Welcome to Business Insights 360 project presentation. I am Pratik Verma, an aspiring data analyst. Today, I'll walk you through the Power BI dashboard project which I crafted during my learning journey with Codebasics. And this project is the part of Codebasics Data Analytics Bootcamp Power BI module where we will be analyzing the dataset of AtliQ Hardware company. So let's get started. So we are here to help AtliQ Hardware, an electronics manufacturing company which is facing many challenges related to data maintenance and analysis as they are relying on old analytical approach using tools like Excel. This resulting in poor decision making and they have to face significant losses in certain regions. Now, since their management team has decided to incorporate data analytics team, let's proceed and look at the table of content. Firstly, I'll cover mainly about the company, the problem statement, the objective of this project, followed by understanding the company's business model, which is very important, and looking at the business expansion of the company across the world. In the remaining part, we will have a look at the provided dataset, the important business terms used in the project to better understand the dashboard. Then we will see the entire Power BI dashboard containing different views with respect to each department, followed by dashboard navigation to address and better utilize each and every feature implemented. Finally, the key insights and recommendations drawn from the dataset will be discussed. Now let's start with knowing more about the company. AtliQ is a leading computer hardware and peripheral manufacturing company that produces hardware like PCs, a keyboard, mouse, printers, hard disk, USBs, etc. AtliQ is in their growth phase with a strong international presence and they are continuously expanding their business all over the world. They serve a diverse range of customers from offline retailer stores like Chroma or Reliance Digital to the online e-commerce platforms like Amazon or Flipkart. Also, one more important thing to note here is this company's fiscal year starts from September month and ends in August next year. Fiscal year, if you don't know, is a 12-month period used for financial planning, accounting, and reporting purposes. It may not align with the calendar year and can start on any date depending on the company's or government's preference. For example, in India, we have financial year starts on 1st April and ends on 31st March, right? Whereas in USA, it begins on 1st of October and ends in 30th September. And here, just for instance, we see for fiscal year 2020, it begins on September 19 and ends in August 2020. And similarly for fiscal year 2021 also. Now let's have a look at the problem statement. AtliQ, as you all know, is a leading producer of electronic components with a strong global presence. But due to their poor decision-making process, they are facing huge decline, especially in the regions of Latin America. This is because they are relying on traditional methods of analysis, using big Excel files, conducting surveys, and mainly using intuitions for their decision making. This resulted in huge financial losses, especially in Latin America region. To overcome this, the senior executives and top management level people of AtliQ have decided to onboard data analytics team and have data-driven decision making based on the insights drawn from the data they have. Also, so far the company was heavily relying on tools like Excel for data collection and analysis, but now the company is expanding its operations and growing at a rapid growth rate. Excel is no longer be suitable for the analysis due to its certain limitations. They need more robust and reliable solutions like SQL database or BI tools like Power BI. They can offer real-time insights and help the business to grow. The main objective of this project is to build an intuitive, user-friendly Power BI dashboard that can provide actionable insights across different departments of the company, empowering stakeholders to identify growth opportunities and make concrete decisions. This also provides an automated solution by replacing manual methods being used till date in the company. The end goal is to enhance the company's operational efficiency by optimizing resources, cost saving, increase in revenue and profit numbers, and overall increment in capturing significant market share. Now let's have a look at the business model of AtliQ company. AtliQ produces these electronic devices and sells them to different stores like Chroma, Reliance Digital, or platforms like Amazon and Flipkart. They are referred as the actual customers of AtliQ, and then these stores further sells the product to the end consumer. So for AtliQ, the actual customers are these stores to whom AtliQ supplies the hardware directly. Now, they serve two main types of customer segments, brick and mortar and e-commerce. Pretty much self-explanatory from the image that physical stores like Chroma or Reliance Digital are called brick and mortar, and online platforms like Amazon or Flipkart are known as e-commerce. These are referred to as platforms in our database. Next, we have channel distribution. AtliQ mainly operates via three channels known as retailer, direct, and distributor. We just now looked at the brick and mortar and e-commerce type of customers. They are known as retailer. Now AtliQ also has their own stores in the market, which are AtliQ eStore and AtliQ Exclusive, that does business with the consumer directly. It is mainly similar to Dell Exclusive or HP Exclusive, which we often find in the market, and they falls under direct channel. Then we have a distributor channel, because in some countries like North Korea, due to restrictions applied by the government, companies cannot supply their products to customers directly. Instead, they have a big distributor like Naptune that distribute products to different stores within that region. And finally, via all these channels, the product reaches to the end consumer. Moving ahead, here's the product lineup of AtliQ, which has three main product division: PC, network and storage, peripheral and accessories. Now these are further divided into segments, 6 in total, containing breakdown of different product categories as shown here. Moving forward, from this visual, we see AtliQ's market as well as their strong global presence as they operate in multiple regions, including North America, Latin America, European, and Asia Pacific region. Well, this is just for visual representation purpose. We do have a lot more countries in our actual database. Now let's briefly go over the data set that we work with. So I have been provided two SQL databases containing different dimension and fact tables, and this is the data modeling view of it, all connected with one-to-many relationships followed by the star and snowflake schema modeling technique. Also, there are a bunch of Excel files like market share, operational expense added at the later stage to better represent them with other metrics within the dashboard. And I have used MySQL Workbench to run various queries for the data exploration and Power BI for data visualization. Now, before moving to the dashboard, it's important to know a few business terminologies typically used to run a business and understanding profit and loss statement. So let's explore one by one. What is a gross price? It's a base or an initial level of price of the product set by the company. Then we have pre-invoice discounts, which is an agreement between company and the customer made at the beginning of the fiscal year. When I subtract these two, I get net invoice sales, which is an amount paid by the customer like Chroma, Reliance Digital to AtliQ in the exchange of the product. After this, There are some ongoing seasonal or promotional offers, festive offers, you can say, along with product placement fees, bonuses on good sales performance. These are offered by the AtliQ to their customers, which will eventually be given to the end consumer. They collectively called as post invoice discounts. And when this is subtracted, we get net sale value, which is the actual revenue amount of AtliQ. Now, there are costs like product manufacturing, transportation, also known as freight cost, then other costs spent by AtliQ to build and supply the product, collectively referred as COGS or cost of goods sold. And when we deduct all the costs from the net sales, we get gross margin, also known as gross profit, earned by AtliQ on the sold product. Now, in order to increase sales and its reach among the customers, a company has to spend in ads and promotions. Also, to manage things well, there are some operational expense bared by the company, like paying accounting fees, warehouse rent, utility bills, etc. When these expenses are deducted, we get net profit, which is the actual or the real profit number of AtliQ. Now we have pretty good understanding of the terms. Let's look at a quick P&L example. Let's say AtliQ sells this keyboard to Amazon worth of $50, which is a gross price set by AtliQ. They offer some fixed discount to Amazon at the beginning of the fiscal year based on their business relationship, known as pre-invoice deductions. Here, let's say it is $4 and we get net invoice sales of $46, which means Amazon will pay this amount to AtliQ in exchange of keyboard. Now we have promotional offers, performance rebates, placement fees given by AtliQ, commonly called as post-invoice deductions, as shown here. Considering it as $6, we get $40 as net sales amount, which is the revenue of the AtliQ. Now comes the cost part. Here, there is product manufacturing cost, transportation, and other costs spent by the company to build and supply the product. This is known as COGS, also known as cost of goods sold. Since it holds big, let's say it is $30. So overall, AtliQ is making a gross profit of $10 on this keyboard. Next, company spends on ads and promotions to increase its sales and get more customers reach. Also, there are operational expenses like accounting fees, rentals, and bill payments, etc., as shown here. So on per product basis, we are considering these spends as $1 each. When these operational expenses are deducted, we get net profit as $8, which is the real actual profit of AtliQ. So I hope it is pretty much clear now. Now enough of discussion. Let's go ahead and explore the Power BI dashboard. This is the cover page of the report. When user lands here, it offers an intuitive user experience. The moment we click here, they will be redirected. This is the home page of the dashboard, and I have intentionally designed the elements in this way to align with the 360-degree analogy of the name Business Insights 360, as it covers all the 360 aspects of all the departments of AtliQ company. Here I have given some basic yet very important information like report last refresh date, last sales date in our database, and a note stating that all the values inside are in dollars and million unit. At the top left, I have kept the info page. When user clicks, a side menu pops up providing some initial level of information which can be important for users of respective department to get acknowledged. We can use the back button here to get back. At the bottom right, there's a support page. If a user encounters any issue or want to provide a feedback or need any other kind of a support, this pane can help the user to find relevant options. Now let's look at these elements containing different views of reports. When we hover here at this small info icon at the bottom, we get a small description about this view in order to get the initial idea of what this view is all about. These icons here acts as page navigation buttons, allowing users to explore the respective view just by clicking on it. So let's click here and see the finance view. This is the dark theme kind of a UI I have created, which can be appealing and offers eye comfort for many users navigating through dashboard. I have utilized the full space of canvas, shifting the filter pane and page navigation at the top. This results in enlarged visuals and better data readability, enhancing overall user experience. Let me walk you through the filter pane. When user clicks on the button here, a menu pops up containing all the slicers arranged properly. These are the fiscal years available in the database, followed by quarters and a dedicated filter for year to date and year to go. Then this is the parameter slicer known as BM or benchmark to toggle between last year and target value. This updates the entire dashboard accordingly based on the field selection. We will see this in a while. Below are these important slicers to select by region, market or country, by customer, product segment and category. Here at the footer note, I have provided important term abbreviations being used in the dashboard for simplicity. Again, a reminder that all the values are in millions and dollars. At the top right, I have kept the close button to close the pane, and beside that, clear all button to clear all the slicer selections at once. This offers good convenience to the user. Let's close this. The moment you close it, you are back to the original view. But think closely. It's hard to figure out, right? Like what all slicers are currently active on this page and how many of them are on active state. To solve this, I have implemented an additional functionality on this filter button that shows the count of currently selected filters, and when the user hover over it, we get a list of active filters. How cool is that? Now, to get an idea of what all these numbers are, a dynamic fiscal year header is required, which is present at the top showing currently selected fiscal year. Now let's look at three important KPIs for finance view: net sales, gross margin percentage, and net profit percentage with their respective numbers. Below that, we see a term BM called benchmark that shows last year or target numbers based on the parameter selection. Remember the slicer switch we saw in just now in filter pane that can be toggled from there. For this report, there's a dedicated switch provided that allow users to select and see the comparison among target numbers or last year. Beside this, we also have a percentage change that captures by how much margin the current number is more or less than a benchmark. If there's a negative change, then observe here the accent bar color changes to red. Now comes this line area chart showing net sales performance trends over time for selected fiscal year as well as benchmark, where benchmark can be last year number or target value. We also have these two tables showing top and bottom products and customers by net sales and percentage change. When we drill down the region, we see breakdown of numbers by customers. And here we have segments, then category, then finally product line at the bottom end. This is the actual P&L statement in the correct hierarchical order, just like we saw in the presentation before, starting from gross sales amount, ending with net profit. In the column, we have selected fiscal year, benchmark number, change value, which is the difference, and change in percentage. When the user clicks or selects any of these line items, they can see the performance over time or the trend in the area chart and top and bottom products and customers for that selected metric. See, these visuals are changing. Let's try to find out few insights from this. We already see increased numbers for the selected fiscal year 2020 compared to last fiscal year and huge decline during February March that bring down the sales even lower than the last year. And we all know the reason. It was COVID pandemic time when every company faced huge losses. Let's look at the numbers for the latest fiscal year we have in our dataset. Because apart from previous year performance, the management team would be more interested in knowing the business health based on the latest data. So far, it looks good. No red numbers because in comparison to last year, we are doing great. Let's change the benchmark to target value we received from the management team. Now, this shows the correct business picture that we are falling short of given targets. See, all the KPIs turned into red with negative percentage change. Looking at the chart, we are almost meeting and achieving the net sales target. But having high net sales doesn't mean that business is profitable or has a good health. But if we look at this breakdown again, after offering all the discounts, we have net sales, but there's a cost which is to be borne by the company too. So after all, it's the gross margin that's more important for a business, and gross margin by net sales. So the gross margin percentage will paint the right picture. See, it's reflecting in the chart. Although we are making good sales, but not generating enough profit and lagging behind the set target numbers. So this is alarming for the company to take necessary actions to address this. Another example we can take, let's look at the previous year. And yes, one important point, since we have target numbers only for year 2022, for rest of the years, it should show blank with a message target not available, as you can see. Also, we have targets available at country level and we lack the customer level targets for net sales. So at any point of time, if user selects any customer, it shows target not available. All these are dynamic visuals and you can select any metrics according to your preferences and extract many insights out of it. Like gross margin percentage here, which has a negative change, and I want to know which segment is declining. And I sort this descending to see that peripherals shows more negative, and I can drill down further into category, observing that processors are responsible for that. And I can expand further to know which product exactly is lagging behind. Well, it's AQ 5000 series. Now I can hold Control key and click on this product name. Observe that entire dashboard has updated and showing numbers for this product only. And I can also see that North America region is declining. Why is it declining? So on expansion, we see customers like Radio, Shack or Staples are most negative. This is the power of a BI tool that enable users to dive deeper into the root cause of a problem. So we can inquire further about this particular product by contacting the regional manager responsible for this and brainstorm ideas to increase the overall gross margin. So that's all for this. And in every view, I have given this info and support page for the simplicity of the user to utilize this option and report any issue then and there itself. So enough detailed discussion about the finance view now. Let's move to sales view. And for that, no need to go back to home page. Instead, we have a switch view menu right here. The highlighted one we see is the current view. User can navigate to any view right from here. This is the sales view having scatter plot showing the net sales performance over time. which is the gross margin percentage versus net sales plot, representing different customers. And this slider here is the gross margin percentage variance, allowing users to select a value for the tolerance gap limit. Basically, what this means is show me the customers who falls under the limit of, let's say, 10%. These are the customers falls under the tolerance limit, which is the difference between target GM percentage and the actual ones. This table visual shows the product as well as the customer performance based on the selected parameter in this switch. And these two visuals are interconnected. That means changes gets reflected on both. So far, it was showing for customers, and I can do the same for products as well. By setting the tolerance limit of, let's say, 5%, and it updates dynamically. One more thing is added to this table visual, which is a tooltip showing trends or comparison between net sales and gross margin percentage for each customer or product whenever a user hovers over it. This provides a better view looking at the overall trend. Below, we have unit economics, the donut chart showing the breakdown of how much is the distribution of total discounts, that is pre-invoice plus post-invoice, given to the customer versus the net sales amount value. And then net sales is further expanded to study better in terms of total COGS and gross margin. We see values as well as the percentage distribution of both. This helps in understanding the ratio of total cost incurred to the margin saved. An interesting observation here is from this donut chart, we see that the discount offered is almost equivalent to the sales, that means net sales generated. This means company is giving almost 50% of direct discount, which is very concerning. This insight can help AtliQ to review their sales strategy and offer lower discount to their less valuable customer. Again, rest of the features are same, just like we saw in the finance view. We have filter pane to play with different slices and accordingly view the data for all the fiscal years as required. Now let's move to marketing view now. The marketing view looks similar to the sales view, but it is more focused towards product, whereas a sales view was focused more to customers. We have scatter plot showing product segment or category performance comparison between gross margin percentage and net sales, or net profit percentage versus net sales. Again, we have a switch here to toggle between two metrics. In this visual, we have a tabular view to see how the segment or category is performing in terms of these important metrics by utilizing this toggle switch present right here. We also have this magic toggle button to switch among segment and market. And like you have got the idea already, these two visuals are interconnected to each other and respond to the changes made by user. This helps in studying the data from all perspectives as per business requirements and user preferences. Below here, it's a bifurcation of net sales and gross margin, indicating how much is the net profit after deducting operational expenses arranged in a chronological order. By the way, it is represented in a waterfall chart, and we see a negative profit here because we are spending too much on operational expenses. And this pie chart represents the value as well as the percentage distribution of gross margin and total cost of goods sold. And the reason behind taking profit into account here, because marketing view is more product focused. They deal with all these product advertising, marketing and stuff. There is a cost associated with all these expenses. And remember from the P&L breakdown, we saw that all these will be deducted from gross margin, and this eventually lowers our net profit. So profit here is an important measure that helps in taking better decision and making sure that there are not too much spends on ads and promotions, maintaining a good amount of overall net profit for the company. But sometimes it's okay to have a negative profit, because when a company is in its growth phase, they spend more on ads and promotions, and the main goal behind doing this is to capture more market share, or in other words, get more customer retention. So for initial days, company can bear lower or negative profit numbers, and once they have gained enough market share, they can lower their spendings and increase the profit per margin. That's how a typical business model works. A real life example we can relate to is the Reliance Jio company. When they have started in year 2016, they offered free data and calling services to different users. And now, since everyone have access to internet using Jio and they have acquired enough market, now they are increasing the recharge plan prices and making enough profit. Now, let's have a look at supply chain view. But before we jump on that, there are few important terms relevant to supply chain that needs to be addressed. First, we have net error, which captures the difference between forecasted quantity and the actual quantity sold. Supply chain is also known as inventory management, where the product supply is managed, and this depends on the whole demand and supply game. For example, if there's a demand of 100 keyboards from Amazon and we have only 50 in the inventory, then we are minus 50 units out of stock. Next time, based on demand and predictions, AtliQ, let's say, produces more, 150 units, but the actual demand this time was only 100. Then in this case, they are in a situation of excess inventory. So there has to be a metric that measures by how much margin it is out of stock or excess inventory. And the ultimate goal here is to produce the optimum quantity of products so that it has very lower net error. This results in favor of the company, as the cost associated with product storage in the warehouse will be very much lower. Similarly, we have percentage net error divided by the base measure as forecast quantity. Then comes the absolute error, and the need of it is due to the negative values, and we have to eliminate it. So for instance, consider a mouse M1 with a net error of 50 and another mouse M2 with error minus 50. So in this case, if I want to know my total net error for mouse category, then this adds up to 0, which is of course false. But when we take the absolute of it, it becomes plus 50, and now the total error would be 100. This is known as absolute error, which actually shows the true picture, that how much actual error you made. So for the percentage absolute error also, the base measure would be forecast quantity. Lastly, when we subtract it from 100, we get our forecast accuracy in terms of percentage. This entire thing can be helpful for the businesses to make strategic decisions, resulting in better inventory planning. Now we are good to go and see the supply chain dashboard. First thing we see, all these metrics, forecast accuracy percentage, net error, and absolute error, being displayed as a KPI card, comparing against the last year numbers with year-over-year change. Again, if it is negative, the accent bar changes to red color. Next, this line and clustered column chart shows the net error trend and the forecast accuracy percentage over time versus the last year. Now, here we have key metrics table by customers, segment, and product, showing forecast accuracy percentage, its last year value, net error percentage, and the risk. Here, the net error percentage has a very close relation with the risk, since it determines that how much far you are from excess inventory or out of stock situation by simply looking at the numbers. Also, you can drill down here in the segment and explore the same for categories as well. I can select different customer, product, and the changes reflect in the visuals, showing numbers for the selection made. This offers stakeholders to do a more insightful analysis by slicing and dicing the data. So that's all about the supply chain. Now moving to the executive view. This view shows the overall company's performance, or we can say the overall health of the business, covering key areas of different departments within the company. This view is more focused to top level management people, especially CEOs, CMOs, etc., to be mindful about their overall business. At the top, we have all the four key business metrics, which is net sales, gross margin percentage, net profit percentage, and the forecast accuracy percentage mentioned in the KPI card, having benchmark numbers placed at the bottom along with year over year percentage change. Also, for the forecast accuracy percentage, we don't receive target numbers, but for the rest of the metrics, we do have it. And user can toggle between target and last year value using the toggle switch as per their requirement. Now, in this revenue contribution chart, I have used the radio button to switch between two parameters, division and channel, showing the detailed breakdown of net sales value. Here, we see almost 69% of revenue is coming from retailers, and in division, we have peripheral and accessories bringing most of the revenue. This is the area chart showing the trend of key business metrics over years along with AtliQ's PC market share percentage value. Actually, what's happening here is the file provided to us contains the market sales numbers along with all the manufacturers for the PC segment only. That's why this market share number is based on that. Let me activate the focus mode. We clearly see that although AtliQ is losing in their net profit, but they are gaining the market share, which is good for the company to establish their presence in the market. Moving next, if we compare the manufacturers based on their revenue contribution trend over years, then we see for all the previous years, AtliQ is nowhere. But moving to the year 2022, which is the latest year in our dataset, it has gained a significant market share close to 6%. That indicates that business is growing at a good growth rate and capturing the market share. These insights are very, very helpful for chief and top level people of the company to understand their business health in comparison to other players in the market. Now, these two tables here shows top 5 customers and products based on net sales with respect to their revenue contribution percentage and gross margin percentage, along with the negative or positive change by gross benchmark indicated by this tiny arrow. Below that, we have subzone wise performance table showing net sales, revenue contribution percentage, gross margin percentage, net profit percentage, net error percentage, risk, and additional AtliQ's market share percentage column, giving an idea of how much percentage of market captured by subzone. Again, user can select different fiscal year, choose different filters to slice and dice the data as per their preferences, and have a detailed study from every angle. Moving to the last one, product view. This one is basically one of the stakeholders' requests to see the overall market's top 5 and bottom 5 products based on GM percentage growth. So these are the top and bottom products ranked by GM percentage. And below here are top and bottom 5 products for the selected market. Observe here, when I select different markets, these numbers are changing, but the above ones are not because they are fixed overall numbers showing for all the markets. This can help the concerned stakeholder to get some insight and study the market as per top performing or bottom performing products. So likewise, we can add and implement different features in the dashboard as per requests raised by stakeholders. And this is how a business intelligence dashboard evolves with time and delivers different insights for the betterment of the company. Last but not the least, I want to extend my heartfelt gratitude to my mentors Dhaval sir and Hemanand sir, also the entire Codebasics team for this awesome industry level Power BI project that offers end-to-end hands-on learning experience. Thank you so much for watching till here, and do provide your valuable feedback or highlight the areas where I can improve and do better. Please do like this video, it really means a lot. and I'm looking forward to all your wonderful comments. Thanks for watching.